Marie, these are awful details as we listen to this testimony. The allegations are truly horrific and I think make all of us feel like, oh, this is just so horrible. But do you agree with Josh's analysis of consent in terms of it can be on a spectrum? And again, I still focus on consent at the time, not looking back on it. What are your thoughts?
I agree and I disagree. I agree that consent has different meanings in different venues. I think there's no doubt that this was not consent for criminal, civil, anything else. What the civil court looks for consent is whether the conduct was welcomed and whether there was a quid pro quo, a coercion to get the consent. That's not in the civil, that's wrong when you're suing civilly for sexual harassment and you have a lawsuit. It's different in criminal. In criminal, it's whether or not they consented to the act, whether or not he was holding future jobs over their head, was extorting them, blackmailing them. It doesn't matter as far as was this rape? Did she consent or not? With this witness, I think if you believe her, there was no consent. No matter any way you look at it, there was no consent. So I do agree that there are different ways to look at consent in different areas of the law. But here, when you're looking, did she say, or did she consent to this? I think there's no question she had no consent if you believe her testimony.
Absolutely. It comes down to her credibility because the details certainly are horrific and not consent. I would agree with you completely. Marie, I have to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Court TV with your expertise. We do have to take a break.